This game, when you talk about importance, how can you, how
big.
little can you understate it?
No, it's big. It's huge. I mean, yes. I mean, I think the kids will be ready. We talked about it this morning. We're not shying away from it. You know, it's a playoff game. We need to go win.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Digital Den. We are excited to be back after a great break. We are again joined by the classic coach of the show, Coach Marksbury. So, Coach, great break. How did it go for you guys?
Wasn't really. We lost going into fall break. It kind of just put a damper on everything. Didn't really play very well. So, I mean, it was good to get the kids away, get their minds freshened and their bodies freshened up and everything like that. But yeah, it was just losing going into fall break's not a good way to do it, and it's something that we've been very fortunate over the last several years to always kind of go into fall break on a win. And so yeah, but it was good to get a break, but would have liked to win in on a more positive note.
Mm-hmm. Well, fortunately, we get a quick turnaround, so we get right back to it. Our game is on a Thursday this week, going against North Oldham. How is the mindset on a short week?
It's been good. I think we got the kids back and got a workout in Sunday and practice yesterday. I mean, they're just what you would expect. I mean, a little bit of rust we had to get knocked off, but they were practicing fast, and you can see that they're fresh and they were running around, and I mean, it's I just got to get back a little bit of the timing and all that stuff, which I think we will, and have another good day today and wrap it all up on Wednesday, and then go play on Thursday night, which we're excited. I'd much rather play on a Thursday night than a Saturday night, so we're excited to get on the road and go over there. It's a huge game for us. It's a huge game.
It's not the midway point of the season, but it is kind of a time to reflect, having that week off. So looking back at the stats of the season so far, Jarrett averaging 66 yards per game throwing the ball. He has a 5-7 interception to touchdown ratio, which is not the best. But I don't think that tells the story of the trending up.
No.
I think Jarrett he's made great strides, especially coming out of the tough stretch we went to. And with him lining up as Kellen, and we knew he was going to be great. He's got 791 yards. That's rushing and receiving so far this year. That does lean rushing. He's got 558 rushing, 231 receiving, 10 touchdowns on the year. And then on defense, I mean, just an absolute animal. Nick Stowe with 81 total tackles. Those are three guys who we had big expectations for. And although the only stat that you said you care about was being 3 and 5, there has to be things that we're happy about, things that we need to build off of. But now we're at a point of the season where building off of has to become we have to get ready to go.
That's exactly we talked about it this morning in our weightlifting session. I mean, it's just we have to figure out why we don't play as well. I know why we don't play as well on the road, but we've got to figure out what buttons to push to get us to perform better on the road. We're at home, in our environment at home, with the students, the fans, the environment, everything. I guess our team's comfortable. We play really good. We go on the road. We haven't played well. I don't know. We just don't really play with an edge on the road. So we talked to them this morning about that, trying to get that figured out. I think some of that has to come from our leadership within our team, and some of our mindsets within our team are just, it's not that they're, again, I'll go back, not that they're bad teammates or anything. They're not those type leaders. They're not the in your face, hey, let's get after it. They're just not those type kids, and which is fine. You can win with it. You don't have to be like that, but we have to figure out a way to go on the road and perform better. I mean, we need to be able to go on the road, get off the bus, win a game, and get back on the bus coming back home, because that was one thing about last year's team. I mean, they thrived on that stuff, going into like the enemy environment and everything like that. They thrived off of. That's what they wanted to do. So, but anyway, we'll figure it out, and it's still got 2 more games to go, and at least, and hopefully more. So we'll go from there.
So this would wrap up our district play with North Oldham, and then next week we finish off. So just 2 games left. We have one more chance to test ourselves on the road, and that has been a looming issue. It seems like every time we go on the road, it's just a different feel. And when you look at why that is, there's been themes throughout the year, not having an identity early on, having a young team in important positions early on. What do you think that biggest factor is? Is it the identity? Is it the youth? Is it just our home environment's really good and it's kind of hard to get away from that?
Look, this is a tough place to play. Coming in here when we are who we are, and it's a very difficult place to play. And coaches will tell you they don't like coming here to play because of our environment. Not that it's a bad environment. It's just they know that we play better here and everything like that. It's just one of those things that a lot of times when you play at home, you have an environment. It kind of provides the juice to the players to get them going. When you're on the road, the environment over at Shelby County the other night wasn't very good, and it's just like the kids need to bring their own juice to get flowing, and they just, for whatever reason, they just haven't done that. And it was actually the same thing at Collins. It's very similar in the way the games have played. The games on the road have been played, and that, I'm not taking the Hart County game away, but like the Collins game, the Franklin County game, the Shelby County game. Now all those teams are really good, but it's just you can look out there and just look at the team and see that they're just not playing with the edge that they, because I had really, after we beat Western Hills and then the great win against Henry County, I thought, man, we're trending really in the right direction. I mean, look, we're rocking, we're getting somewhere, and then we went over there and it was just a bad performance from coaching aspect, bad performance from the playing aspect, just a bad night all the way around. Very difficult. I mean, very difficult loss. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It was very difficult to stomach and get over, and it probably didn't get over until I got back in practice on Sunday. So it bothered me for a long time.
Yeah. Well, luckily, again, you only have 3 days of school, and we're right back to that game. And I can tell just by hearing you talk and seeing you play with your hands, I mean, you're ready to go.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, you're not out there making those plays. How are the kids? Like, how ready are they going to be for Thursday?
Well, it bothered them. You could tell. They were frustrated at Shelby County, and it was just one of those things. It was just we could not get off the field defensively, and we didn't play bad. I mean, actually, Gianni Hunter, we held him to his lowest rushing total of anybody, and it wasn't even close. I mean, we've held him 50 yards less than anybody else. He had 27 carries for 104 yards, and if you had told me going into the game that we would have held him to that, I would have like, hey, but the problem was they just kept the ball away from us, and we could never get the ball. I mean, it's just, and then once we did get it, honestly, I did a horrible. We went down 21-7, and I, to be real honest, panicked a little bit and thought I had to score real fast, and ended up probably calling some plays I shouldn't have, and I just dug our hole deeper, and it's just a bad night all the way around. But one thing is, I will say the kids kept battling because it was 27-7, I believe. We scored, made it 27-14, got an onside kick. We thought right there, we were under a minute to go. We were like, hey, if we score here, we get it 27-21. We're getting ready to do another onside kick. Hey, we got a shot. And but we knew we had to score pretty quick, so that's when we took that shot to Drew down the sideline. He was open for a minute, but then the safety came over and intercepted it. But it's just the way it is. And it was. I could have done a better job to kind of help the kids out, especially on the offensive side. But the defensive side, the kids, we were where we were. We just could not get off the. I mean, it was like 1st and 10, 2nd and 6, 3rd and 2. They get 3 yards first down, and because I do know when they scored at the end of the first half, and then they got the ball to start the second half, and they drove down and scored to go up 21-7, and we got the ball to start in the third quarter with like 3 or 4 minutes to go. So I mean, So then we get 2 first downs, then throw 3 incomplete passes, punt it back to them, and we don't see the ball again until 4 minutes to go in the game. And it's just, I mean, I think we had 4 possessions where we weren't under duress trying to score. You know, it's one of them things where I think we had 4 or 5 possessions to where we had the ball and we could just do what we wanted to do, run our offense. Another couple of times we got it, and we got it for like 40 seconds or 50 seconds or whatever. So, I mean, it was just tough. And, you know, I don't want to take anything away from Shelby County, but that definitely wasn't our best game and wasn't my best game play calling, wasn't our best game from our players. And, you know, it's but we got to bounce back. That's the key thing, and I think we will. And you know, I think they'll play well Thursday night. It's a really big game. I mean, we do not have a playoff spot secured. We can win Friday or Thursday and take care of that, or if we don't win Thursday, we got to have some help to make sure we've got to let things play out to see where we finish.
Yep. I think a lot of times, especially when you talk about playoffs and the season coming around, destiny, and you want to be able to control that.
Yes.
And we have that chance. And
Yes.
this is kind of reminiscent of, I think, the Fairdale game earlier in the year when it felt like just for locker room reasons you had to get this win. But this North Oldham game means a lot in terms of you get that playoff spot. It gives you a good shot to finish 500, which is always a really good feeling when you can crack that threshold. And it also is that bounce back win. Is this game, when you talk about importance, how can you, little can you understate it?
No, it's big. It's huge. I mean, if we win, you know, there's strong likelihood we're going to be the 2 seed, which means we host a playoff game, which our sister district, which means, you know, we can end up hosting 2 playoff games here. Mm-hmm. And, you know, it's huge. I mean, I'm not sugarcoating. Now then, is the season over with if we lose? No. But I'd just soon take care of it and not have to worry about scoreboard watching on Friday night. I'd just soon go out and scout Nelson County on Friday night and not have to worry about Henry Shelby game. But we'll just see. We'll see how it goes.
Mm-hmm. Well, given how important it is, you kind of get a little sense of desperation. You got to have the win. Mm-hmm. And I think this year when like you were talking about Shelby County, when we get down early or when we're in those spots where, you know, we have to fight back, there's always a little anxiety. There's always a lot of miscues. Are you worried that heading in the weight of how important this game is going to affect the performance at all?
No, I'm not. I think they'll bounce. I think our kids are going to do what they need to do. I think it's a little bit better matchup for us than maybe Henry and Shelby were. And now that doesn't mean that they're. I'm just talking. They're really good. I'm just talking like the matchup. It's a little bit better matchup for us. Henry and Shelby, you know. Number 5, when you're playing Shelby County, you have to gear your defense so much to stop him and commit so many people to stopping him. And then they had the quarterback change, and we only had one game of film. Really well, he did. Yeah. We only had one game of film on him. He didn't run it at all against Western Hills, and then all of a sudden he comes out there running it and throwing it against us. So it's just kind of catches you. That's kind of catches you off guard. But you know, yes. I mean, I think the kids will be ready. We talked about it this morning. We're not shying away from it. You know, it's a playoff game. We need to go win.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's go ahead and dive into that matchup against North Oldham, the specifics, the offense, the defense, that matchup. Tell us everything you're willing to share right now.
Well, I mean, first of all, they're going to throw it 80% of the time. So 4 out of every 5 plays, they're going to throw the ball. That's who they are. That's they're going to spread the ball out. They're going to spread the field out, and they're going to throw it around. Now they will run it some. I don't think that's what they want to do, but they will do that, but not a lot. I think their leading rusher has like 250 yards on the season or something like that. They do have a couple of good receivers. Number 16, he's got like 68 catches on the year or something like that. And then number 3, he's really athletic, and they stretch the field with him, But outside of that, I mean, they're going to do what they're going to take what you give them. They're going to run. They don't really throw deep. They do, but it's a controlled passing game. They sit down, find holes and gaps in your defense, and It's a rhythm passing game and everything like that. But offensive line's pretty solid. Defensively is probably where it's a little bit different than a lot of teams. They're bringing pressure. I mean, they have 11 guys up on the line of scrimmage, and they're coming, which is some plays it's going to make you look really bad. But if you crease them, that's bad for them. So they place a lot of man-to-man coverage, so it's going to give us some one-on-one matchups, which are things that we got to be able to take advantage of. So, but I think we kind of know how to manipulate the defense to get it to where we want it, and we just gotta be sound. The one thing you got to do is just offensive line's got to have their eyes up and just understand the people are coming. You just got to have your eyes up, and when an opposite color jersey's coming through there, you just got to block him. Even if that's not your guy, if he's running through the line, you just got to block him. And because if we get started, I think it benefits us. The problem they want to do is they want to get you before you get started, and which it's a dangerous game to play that defense like that, because if you do, if you do have a running back that can get through there, I mean, you're going to have to catch him. So that's. But we're going into the game. It's a big game. We've got to put the ball in our players' hands, our dudes' hands, and get the ball to Drew, get the ball to Kellen, complete some passes early. Eric, Danny, Keenan running the ball. Ethan Hampton, Brody. We just got to whatever we got to do to. We got to play desperate.
Oh yeah,
got to play desperate.
Have to. Well. You talk about a heavy pass game, and I can't remember a time over the year where our secondary's been challenged like that. When you say an 80% pass rate, that's kind of, I mean, in high school level, it's kind of like I'm remembering remember the Titans where they call them the Jets or
right.
So there's two approaches to a pass heavy game where you try and either frustrate the quarterback and get a lot of pressure on him, or you challenge your secondary to make plays. Where's your headspace at right there?
You got to do both. You can't. I think when you got a passing game like that, you don't want to give up the big plays, so you want to make them keep snapping it. But they are well schooled enough. If you give them the same look all the time and just sit back there, they're going to pick you apart. So you got to do different stuff. You got to show blitzes, bail out. You got to start from depth, put some pressure on him, play a little man, play a little zone. But the one thing you just got to keep the integrity of the defense and not give up big plays. I mean. Sometimes you're going to have to gamble and hope that you get home to him and all that. You need to hit him a little bit and make sure, make him a little bit uneasy back there. So I think the key thing is just mixing everything up. You just don't want to go out there and say, okay, we're going to play 4 down, 3 linebackers, 4 deep, and we're all going to be, because they are very good at trying to get their guys in space. And you got to be careful watching the quarterback, because that's what he wants you to do. Your DBs can't be dropping and watching him and watching his eyes and everything like that, because you just got to find out when a receiver's coming to you. And we were telling them, just be disciplined. Just do what you've been coached to do and everything, and you'll be fine. I mean, it's no matter what, it's still high school, and we want them to be able to have to complete 6, 7, 8 passes to go down and score. Don't give up the big one, because look, even in high school, you'll make a bad throw. Receiver will drop it. You'll get a holding penalty. You just can't let them throw over top of you. And the one thing about it is their quarterback can run it. However, it's not like Cade Gooden. Whereas Cade Gooden, we're dropping and we have to have eyes on him in case he takes off running. This kid will run it, but it's just not his game. He wants to catch it, throw it, catch it, throw it, catch it, throw it, and that's just rally, tackle, be physical, and just be us. I think we're excited. We're excited about the opportunity.
Luckily, we have, unlike last game, we have a lot of film on this quarterback to date. So when you look at this North Oldham offense and their flow of their games, because they throw a lot, is there genuinely more turnovers? Do they keep the ball a long time, or is it usually just very quick drives down the field? What is the flow of their play like?
Well, they're going to be no huddle. They're going to go to the line. They're going to clap their hands, try to get you to jump off sides. They're going to look at your defense, and then they're going to do check with me stuff where they look, they'll stop, and everybody looks to coach, and he'll call a play from the sideline and everything like that. So then you got to So that's where you got to like show something, get him to call something, then change your, get your defense to adjust a little bit just to give him a different look. But no, they're not fast tempo, run the line, snap it. It's no huddle, but it's a controlled. It's also not like what Shelby was doing. They're not going to use 40 seconds on every play clock and shorten the game down. I believe at Shelby the other night, I think in the first half we ran 16 plays. So I mean that's
nothing.
That's not good. But no, it'll be a nice pace. It's not a hurry up. Let's run back to the line and do it again. It's a nice pace.
Mm-hmm. And to control the game, what is the main goal for Spencer County?
Tackle well. I think we didn't tackle very well. They're going to complete passes. We just have to understand that. But when they catch them, we got to tackle them. We got to tackle them right where they. And we got to be physical when we tackle. We got to be physical with the receivers when they're crossing across the. You just can't let. I told our kids yesterday, North Oldham wants this to be a 7-on-7 summer where everybody goes out there and runs routes and everything. We just got to make sure we get our hands on receivers. We got to collision them when they're crossing the field and stuff like that. And on offense, we just have to win the turnover battle, and B, just be sound and understand when somebody, even if it's not your guy, if your guy drops and somebody else comes, you have to pick the guy up, and we just have to have gap integrity and make sure that and that goes for our skill guys and our linemen. Just because sometimes what will end up happening is you'll have a guy on you, and you're like, okay, this is the guy I got to block. Well, then that guy goes out of your area, but a backer comes through your gap. Well, it gets confusing because then you're blocking the guy, and here comes a backer running right through, and he hits you in the backfield. So you just have to understand, if I'm responsible for protecting the B gap, I block the B gap. If my guy goes out to the C gap, that's fine. Let him go. Somebody else has got him. If my guy goes out there, there's a backer coming through my gap, and that's just the way it is. They're just sending people through every gap. But the problem is, if you block them and you get through there, it could be tough on them because they're just rolling the dice that they're going to get you before you get started.
Mm-hmm. So in that offense, we faced a lot of guys. We had obviously South Oldham, Franklin, and Collins as well, where the size was a big thing. And then we had teams where there was just athletes on defense that were going to make plays. Personnel-wise, as a whole, what is North Oldham really good at? Is it just that scheme where their blitzes are clever and they get there, or do they have playmakers on that side?
No, I mean they're just very. I mean, it's not like they're overly athletic. I mean, it's not like they're not athletic. They're just very similar to us, probably in the secondary and everything. We've Drew and Kellen will probably be the best two athletes on the field.
Okay.
But they've got some kids that can. The thing about it is, and they're not like when you play Collins, you're worried about them running by us. That's a easier thing to tolerate too, because with Collins you're like, okay, if you take one bad step, the guy's running by you. Here it's just play sound, and if a guy's we can run with their guys, and that's I firmly do. I think Kellen and Drew are the two best athletes on the field Thursday nights. That's good.
And then just practically, how do you, as a coach, prepare your guys for a pass-heavy team and a blitz, like these type of schemes? Is it more like they got to be out there and you guys see it, or is it more you're in the film room and you just have to be exposed to it constantly?
Well, the first thing is getting aligned properly, and the drone for our practice film is phenomenal, because like last night, you just have to understand what they're trying to do to you. They're trying to space you out and then get their receivers in spaces. So when we're filming practice yesterday, we're running all their routes at us, and you can't cover them all. You can't. I mean, we can't go in there and have 15 different pass concepts of North Oldham. We're trying to cover them all. We have to say, okay, these are their 3 or 4 primary ones. Let's make sure we can cover them, and then the rest of it we just allow our technique to take care of everything. But when you look at it, first thing is you got to have your eye. You can't be staring at the quarterback. That's the first thing. And then the second thing is understand how they're trying to space you. And then after that, you just play football. And you don't bail. Our safeties shouldn't be bailing when they're not pressed, because sometimes that's what will happen is your safeties get back there and they get a little bit nervous that somebody's going to run by them. So at the snap, they bail 10 yards, and now there's a 20-yard window between your backers and your safeties, and North Oldham's going to hit it. So you just have to make sure that those guys aren't bailing to bail. Your backers have to drop, and just when somebody gets in your area, you got to realize they're in your area, and you got to match up with them. And it's almost like defense in basketball. Like if a guy comes in your zone and he sits down, you got to guard him. Just get close to him to where the quarterback doesn't want to throw it. And but the film work is a lot, just seeing stuff and just understanding. And the other thing is you have to have eye discipline. That was the same thing. Playing defense, eye discipline is everything. You just have to focus on your keys and then just react. When I've got this guy, if he goes out of my zone, just like basketball, if he goes out of my zone, somebody else is coming in and I got him. It's very similar, but you can't chase. If you get bad eyes, out there, you start chasing stuff, which happens to us sometimes. You start chasing stuff that you shouldn't be chasing, and they're making you chase something, and they're throwing where you're supposed to be. So that happens.
Yeah, I don't really know how to ask this next question. I just really want to bring it up. For those who don't know, look up North Oldham's football field. Just look it up and see a picture of it. In basketball, the one that comes to mind is Woodford. Like an odd-colored floor. Right. It messes, like at the beginning, it messes with you. North Oldham has like a bright blue teal. Has a bright teal-colored field, big old stands, big old stadium. I don't know what their fans are like, but is that atmosphere, is that something you have to prepare for, or are you just kind of hoping your guys are locked in, ready to go?
No, I think they'll be locked in. Now, they are going. This is their last day before they go to fall break, too. So they're on fall break next week. So that's a big thing. They're 5-3, maybe. I don't know, 6-2, 5-3, whatever the record is. So they're winning. So I'm sure they'll have a crowd there. But the one thing about when you're at North, it seems like the stands are really far away from the field. And I don't. They used to be in our district, and we've had success against them and everything. But it always, when you're there, it just feels like everything is really far away from you. So, but no, it's a district game that has a lot of implications. I mean, look, North Oldham has a chance to win and say we're hosting. They lose, they could be the 4 seed. We don't win, we could be out. If we win, we could be the 2 seed and host 2 playoff games at home if we win. So, I mean, it's just the implications, the ramifications of the game are just it's huge. And look, that's what – I mean, it means something. I mean, it's – you better be locked in, and it's a Thursday night, and it's a big game, and there's not a lot of Thursday night games. It'll get a lot of attention on social media from the Louisville media and everything like that. So, I mean, our kids should be excited, and we need to redeem ourselves from the way we played at Shelby County.
Yeah. Well, I always give you the chance to talk about those specific names of kids who are going to have to step up. So who are those guys that we need to have a big game from?
Offensive line needs to play well. They have to be locked in and understand what we're trying to do. Outside of that, it's very important that our secondary and linebackers play sound. And when I say that, just be disciplined and keep their eyes out of the backfield on the quarterback. Understand who's coming into your zone. I'll tell you one thing again. I think, our special teams are pretty good. We need to get some stops and force teams to punt to kill them. The punt return in high school football is one of the most dangerous plays in high school sports because, you have to protect your punter. And then once you punt it to him, you got him in a wide open field and they don't know where he's going. That is, and if you can get them started, we can make some game-changing plays in the punt game. If we can we got to get some stops. But they're just some things there that we need to take advantage of, and we need to get our fullbacks going. Our fullbacks, they're going to be critical, and we just got to hang with them and get them in there and make some positive yards. And we need to have Ethan. I need to call out Ethan Hampton. He had 90 yards rushing against Shelby County.
Yeah.
Like on 8 carries. So I mean, he was averaging over.
And he had the big punt returns the week before that.
Yeah. It's those kids, and we need to. Our special teams need to be solid, and our secondary needs to play well. And look, it's a big game. Yeah. It's a big game, and
really need everybody. I mean,
we need everybody. The coach needs to call a better game. The coach needs to do better. So
we'll hold you to it.
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
And then the message to the fans, we definitely want to ask, when are we going to see that blue and white turf out there?
When's your next interview with Dr. Foster? That's when you can find
well,
out.
you want to get your pregame mow in. You want to be able to go out there and tend to the grass. So
yeah, no, it's all good. Look, turf's
it is
good.
turf, right?
Yeah, turf is
Yeah.
good. I'm not gonna, but look, there's nothing better than a good Bermuda field. It's you can actually see all the stuff in. If you start seeing the stuff on the NFL and the college, the players are talking about how much better it is to play on the turf. Even Gabe Bolin was at practice yesterday. He's at Franklin College right now, and he was talking about their turf. And I said, "You practice on turf every day?" And he said, "Yes." I said, "Do you like it?" He says, "No."
Yeah. Well, guys, we appreciate you tuning in once again to our coaches show.
And we need the fans. We need the fans to make the trip over Thursday.
Oh yeah, 30 minutes, right?
I know we got school Friday morning, but we need everybody there Thursday
Excused
night.
absence. We need to pull a few strings. We really appreciate you guys tuning in. The Coaches Show it's become a classic. We're excited to extend this into the basketball season once that time comes. And we are also excited to bring you our individual podcasts and productions. We have kids who are excited to bring you what we're all passionate about and what's going on in Spencer. So tune in. Make sure to follow us on digitalden.schs on Instagram. We're going to be more active there, going to get more updates there. And then you're probably on our YouTube, so make sure you're subscribed. Hit the bell, make sure you get your notifications. And keep tuning in. We really appreciate it. We've been absolutely so grateful for the support you guys have given us. So thank you so much. And until next time.